Welcome to SDL City Showdown. I'm AJ and I'm joined with Andre and Steve. And this is once again a depressing game. So we're going to start right off the bat with grades. Steve, you want to take the first grade?
Oh, man. Okay. So I'm going to give this game a D because like the first half, I don't know what happened. The first half seemed like it was at least entertaining. My wife was watching the first half with me and she's like, this is kind of boring. I was like, no, you don't like. The last several games have been very bad. There was a lot of action in the first half. And, 0-0 felt good. Come back out in the second half. 20 minutes into the second half, and we had, 2 shots. And it just, whatever transitions Olaf did not work. We always say, like, make some halftime transitions. And it's like, no, not like that. Then it just fell apart. And then it's like, as soon as we get up to the goal, I text you guys and I said, that's the game. There's like 10 minutes. I'm like, that's the game. And then within 2-3 minutes, there's the other goal. And it's just like, yep, of course. And by the way, first time I can recall, it's only been 3 years, the home team crowd booing the home team. Like, we heard booing in St. Louis tonight. We heard booing, and that struck me. And I hope that Karen Kendall and Diego are hearing that and understanding it's about to get bad. How about you guys?
What about you, Andre?
I think it's a D. It's a C if we're in a master's program, to kind of help push people along. But no, I think it's just terrible. Silver lining is, this is also kind of terrible on it, is that we didn't lose the game until like the 80th minute,
That's some lipstick on a pig.
What is, right? You have hope for all that time. It seems like we always kind of collapse. Happened, a few weeks ago. It happened today. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like, it's a student in the residency that's just kind of burnt out in the last semester going up to finals and they just can't keep up anymore. And I don't know what's causing that. I don't know why our players are kind of tapping out. They're just kind of, we'll get into it more with Yaro and everything else, but it just seems like we don't want to be out there anymore. And it sucks because I want to go to this game and I don't want to be part of the people that was booing, but I probably would have given what we saw on the field today, the product that was put out there.
Yeah, I would have to give it, and maybe I'm being too optimistic, I would almost have to give it a D+. The first half was maybe the most exciting and the best that we've seen City play this entire year. I know we were talking pre-show. Steve was bringing up about the game. I think it was the third game where we had like tons of shots on goal. It didn't really materialize into tons of goals, but at least that was exciting. But I felt like this first half was consistent. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I feel like we were pressing kind of almost like we used to press, last year with Carnell. And then for some reason in the second half, we got way less energetic. We kind of played back a little bit. It almost felt like we got more defensive. I don't know, were we trying to play for a tie or something at home? That's almost what it kind of felt like. I could see Steve, if you guys can't see him, he's like, yep, for the tie. You might as well just throw 5 center backs out there is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you're right about the first half. Given how the second half went, I don't remember the first half anymore. Just given what we did, how we, pulled back. And I don't know if it's a conditioning thing. Maybe our players are getting gas, tired, or maybe it's a conservative thing where Olaf didn't want to keep playing that way because he thought we might break instead of bending.
Conservative? You mean like, let's not try to lose yet again?
That's called playing scared. That's called
playing caution scared. In the wind. Yeah.
We're playing.
Well, again, I don't. Right, but I'm saying I don't know what's causing that shift, or is it our players just saying like, no, we don't want to keep playing that way?
No, these guys were around with Carnell. These guys are used to pressing. Almost all these guys were used to pressing. So I just, in some ways, I don't quite buy it, but I could be wrong.
We're like depressing.
Yeah. There's that too.
All right. So like try to remember way back to like the first half of this game. San Diego had one shot on goal, one shot. And it seemed like we were doing a good job. It seemed like we had a lot of shots that first half. And then like the second half just fell apart. So like I'm looking at the second, they had 14 shots in the second half. They had 63% percentage possession. We only had 8 shots in the entire second half. And I'm telling you, a couple of them were just weak little limp things that went over. And it was just bad. Like, our passing is bad. Our defense is bad. I don't know, man.
I actually thought that the first half, the passing seemed a little bit more dynamic. It seems like we were utilizing the triangles, just like the really classic type of triangle type passing. We had outlets. Things were moving. Just, we got lost once we were in the box. Like, how many times did we get in the box and there was one too many touches? Klaus, geez, we could talk about Klaus all night, how he just couldn't finish. He was just honestly kind of lost. There was a couple times where Horn was a little bit lost on the left side, where I was like, okay, dude, like try to make a little run or something, and nothing happened. They just honestly looked lost.
Yep. So let's talk about some players that we thought did really good. Like, I was impressed with Wallum tonight. I thought he did a really good job, and I liked seeing Ostrak out there. And when Celia was out there, he seemed to be pretty dynamic with the ball. You know, couldn't pass it to anyone because no one in our team knows how to shoot the damn thing. But like, I thought those 3 players were pretty outstanding tonight. I think Watts kept having his number called. He gave up a few, but like, I think those players kind of showed out tonight. What do you guys think? Wallum, Ostrak, Watts.
I liked Watts. I thought Watts looked good out there. I know Celio came in around the same time that was it Celio or Betcher came around the same time with Silva.
And Celio came on 83, if I recall, right?
Yeah, it was towards the latter part of the game, but I thought he was kind of looking good out there. Like, he kind of gave some life, but I also wondered if that was because he had fresh legs. I was kind of impressed just with the movement that Silva has. I mean, I'm not familiar with him prior, but he looked like he is a very athletic player on our team. Again, I don't know if that's because he came in late and everyone else kind of gassed, but it just, I want to see what we can do with these guys, with Silva more than anything, but I don't know why we're kind of hesitant to bring him into the fold.
Well, okay, so you brought this up. I have to bring this up, and let's see if you guys agree with this. I don't understand why we're not starting certain players. So Celio, best player last year. I get that he's a defensive liability, but he creates chances. There was the one play where...
But so is Yarrow. So... You know, and he gets to start.
I just, like, why aren't we starting these? Now, I kind of made a thing, and Steve is probably going to be all over this, but are we literally not starting people because they're not defensive enough? Arguably, Klaus is more defensive than Betcher. Who are we starting? Klaus. Celio versus any wingback who's probably better, especially on offense. Obviously Celio, but who do we start instead? The more defensive person like Horn. Like, we could go down the list. It just seems like we're starting all the defensive players when we need the offense.
So I can say with Silva, when he was at Atlanta, he was a late game sub. He is definitely not a starter right now. Just with, I guess, with his fitness, probably you would say, but like, yeah, we probably need to get him going. Celio played pretty much the entire match on Wednesday. He was a hell of a player throughout most of that match. Now, they let him take a lot of shots he shouldn't be taking, but he definitely played a lot of minutes on Wednesday, which probably could have been saved for today, because when he came in, like, as soon as he's touching the ball, even with the horrible camera work we had tonight, you can just see his feet. Even when he can't tell, it looks like 1997 Super Nintendo screens. You could just tell you could just look at it. It's just like, that's Celio pass with dribbling the ball. You know that's Celio. So that's probably why he didn't start tonight, but he is.
Can we give the camera crew an F on this one?
Yeah, that's fine too. That's fine.
It wasn't just a single time. It was like, I think I counted 3 or 4 times where they completely lost the ball. I'm like, literally, you're the main camera person. You have one job. Follow little round ball.
So
you screwed this up.
I remember the first year of MLS Next Pro, when 2 or 3 years ago, when they had AI following the ball, and it was the most the kind of like vertigo inducing camera work you would ever see. It was just doing this the whole time. That was more, at least we could actually see what was going on than tonight. Can we agree that Baumgartel should probably never see the pitch unless he's out there like picking up trash.
Man, so many defensive laps in these past few games. Like I don't want to say never. I could see him as a substitute or like a pinch starter, but I agree with you, not so great. What did you see, Andre?
And to be honest, I was kind of already like tuning out of it. But yeah, Baumgartel.
So was the team.
Yeah,
What was
so I wasn't the only one. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, he's not, again, I would bench everyone else because the only ones that are good, I would say, are the guys we talked about. Wallum, Celio, Silva, Betcher, like everyone else just kind of, they're not cutting it, man. Like, and I don't know if it's also emotions or just they're losing like faith in the coaching. To me, it always goes back to coaching, right? And I think you guys can agree with that. And I don't know if they're just tuning out at this point because it's 8 games without a win. At some point, it has to kind of bear at you,
Now, let me ask you guys this question. So this is a little bit more in depth, and let's think. So we're going to pretend we're kind of Lutz here. And Matt Baker and Flyover Footy brought up the point on this pregame episode about how many players are actually going to be off of contract next year. And some players have options that we probably won't pick up. So, for instance, Berkey, Lunt, Kloss, Durkin is going to not be a U22 anymore. I can't remember everybody, but there's a lot of players that are either going to go off a contract or people that we probably won't pick up. Like you guys remember Blom? He's still on our team. He's loaned out. We're obviously not going to pick up that contract. So the question is there a bug in Lutz's ear that's saying, hey, maybe this just isn't the right player set for Olaf. Maybe we need to design the team around him at the end of this year since we're going to have a massive turnover anyways. Do you guys think that's possible?
Well, yeah, I would think it's possible because sports teams are still money-based things. So, yeah, I find it 100% possible that they are allowing this. They're selling this season. They are, what's it called when teams just throw in the towel? They're doing that because they're tanking. I 100%. I would think that's definitely a possibility. They're tanking because they're trying to get these contracts off the books, which I don't think we're getting Berkey back. I think they're going to sign Lutz. I don't think they're keeping Berkey. I think we just have to start to cope with that. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think Berkey's a little bit older. Yeah, there's he is from Europe. I don't know. He's itching to get back home. But he's also older, right? And I think the reason you go with Lutz is he's a younger guy. We've shown that he's pretty good. He's a good replacement. But you're saying this in the sense of we're gonna hitch our wagon to Olaf, right? But when we fired Carnell, it was 9 games or something like that he hadn't won or something. So Olaf is like 1 game away, right? So if you think that he doesn't have the players to succeed, right, then why'd you hire him in the first place?
Okay, so I actually have something for you because you brought this up. And this was Nick Lapierre on Reddit pointed out at this point in 2024, we had 16 points, 18 goals for, and 17 goals against. Now we have 10 points versus 16. We have 9 goals compared to 18. So literally 50% of what we had. And we have 14 goals against. So we're a little bit better, don't get me wrong. But at least we had a +1 goal differential, which were -5, I think Steve had said earlier. And we're 4 less points than we were last year. I don't know.
Hey, do you guys want to... Do you want me to run through the players that are their contracts expiring at the end of the season?
In case... Go 100%.
Rapid fire right now. This is from Transfer Market, by the way. So here are all the players that the contracts are up at December 31st. Klaus, Kessler, Wallum, Durkin, Berkey, Alm, Horn, Silva, Perez, Yarrow, Watts, Reed, Morales, Lunt, Vincel, Oliveras, Zelensky. All those players have contracts expiring at the end of this.
Now, does Kessler have options? Does it say?
Club option for 1 year. Yep. Klaus has a club option for 1 year.
Not taking that.
Durkin has a club option for 1 year. Taking that. Has an option for 1 year. We have an option to buy for a Horn. We have an option for Silva. We have an option for 2 years for Perez. So I guess we're keeping Miggy around. Yarrow, we have an option for 1 year. We just signed him again. So Watts, Reed, Morales, Vincel, Oliveras is 2 years, and Zelensky is 3 years. So most of these guys have club options. Notice that does not.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you had to pick 2 people from that list that you absolutely had to sign, who are your guys' 2 picks?
Damn defenders. They're all defenders. So
yeah. Well, why were you so quick to dismiss Klaus? Because I mean, he is our second.
Dude.
He is our second. Hold on, he is our second.
I am also
leading scorer on the team.
I am not on the ditch Klaus bandwagon, but we're not using him. We're not using him effectively.
Well, he's the second leading scorer on the team, or third, I guess.
Okay, that's pretty pathetic because we only have 9 goals to begin with. So
okay, if I'm keeping 2. If I'm keeping 2 for the for the club options, I'm keeping Durkin because he's my boy. It's because we need a defender, and I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm keeping Klaus.
What?
So we have no other offense, AJ. We have no offense. We have to have some.
Dude, I would rather
defender score. We had a defender score tonight. That's not good.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Kessler because I do like Kessler, and I'm either gonna have to say, and I'm debating in my head here because this is all improv here.
AJ
either Durkin or Silva.
AJ just wants defenders.
I know Durkin would be a nice person. Of course, we do have Morales and we do have Allstrock. Silva, like he's kind of shown some flair. I haven't seen enough of him yet, but he might be something to keep. And then we have Betcher still. And then we can go buy some other forward, somebody else. What about
another nickel and dime player that we have?
Talk some sense into Steve, please. My hair is all getting all messed up here. I'm pulling out my hair. Jeez.
I like Durkin because he is fiery, not as a player, as a personality when he gets in the field with other guys. First to draw a penalty or a foul, I kind of like that, right? So I want to keep Durkin around. Silva, maybe, I don't know. I guess just in the very little I've seen today, I kind of want to see him around. But I'm not going Klaus, man. Maybe, I think Ballin. I kind of like what Ballin did done.
He's on that list?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, no. Oh.
And then
You're kidding me.
His buy option is $2 million, $2.2 million. That's almost as much as Klaus. Klaus is 2.8.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do that. Oh, man, that's tough.
Berkey's 1.8 million.
Berkey you can do. I mean, I love Lund out there, but there's a difference with Berkey's leadership. You can tell his pass distribution.
So
you know what? Maybe you're right, because angry Berkey, I feel like kind of gets the team back in check, right? And and maybe that's why we have these collapses at the second half, or at the end of in added time. So
the second goal, right? Yarrow had that little touch, like he was trying to calm the ball, and instead it basically squirted back behind him. To me, that was probably a mental error. Would angry Berkey had kept his defenders in check and hey, guys, stay on top of this. Don't let your mind wander. Would that have happened if Berkey was in?
Right.
So
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Olaf has been suspended for next Saturday because of yellow card accumulation, by the way. So
wait. So you think there's a chance we might win?
Right. We're not going to have him to kick around for against Minnesota, apparently.
So, but the problem is just because Olaf's not on the sideline, he's still setting the formations, the lineup, the strategy. So it's still going to be Olaf ball.
Okay, record scratch, real quick. With that knowledge you just got, goal or no goal, Brandon Schneck on Facebook about this situation says, I think the whole team should just suspend itself and skip it.
Well, I mean, I kind of like doing these podcasts and, kind of hanging out with people for the game. Screw it. Let's just say goal.
Yeah.
At least the loss will be less painful this way.
All right, fine. We're going to do goal or no goal because Steve says so. Okay. Goal or no goal. This guy always comes up. I don't get this. Fort Collins dude on Reddit says, lots more energy than we've seen in too many matches this season. Olstrock, Watts, and Jarl stood out with some solid plays and good starts to create opportunities.
Well, I'm definitely not going to agree with that with the Jarl comment. Not after we saw that second half. No, sir. No, sir.
2 goals chalked up to him.
No,
I agree,
sir. And God damn it, when we re-signed him and kept him from going to San Diego, I was standing on a chair screaming that was a good call. And here we are. Oh my God.
Man, you could have still had Kojima, a midfielder that we actually need,
and
not
has
yet
scored
another
this season.
defender.
By the way, Anthony Markanek scored today. How's that sit? How's that sit?
Yeah.
For you guys?
He
So
kind of
I-
sucked with us. That doesn't bother me. Okay, Fort Collins dude yet again, said positives. Man of the match was right post. Ostrak played his heart out, and the fans were beyond awesome this match.
The same fans that were booing?
Hey, you know what? If we were there, would you boo the team when they basically just let another goal in because of bad play, bad concentration, bad effort? What would you have done?
Yeah, it's hard to direct your boos at one particular player, I guess, because
I agree.
I really had it in for Yarrow on that one, So,
I don't know when the crowd is really good. When a player touches the ball, they boo at them if they don't like what they've done. So I think every time Baumgartel or Yarrow touch the ball, we should boo just to let them know this is directed at you, buddy, not the team. You, everyone's cheering. You touch the ball, yay! But like it's instant and it's hilarious. All right, on Discord, not El Tapado says, tonight was the first game I didn't go to because it felt like a waste of time. The games I've missed in the past have been due to plans I couldn't cancel. So I guess goal or no goal. It's time to start figuring out if this team is worth our time.
ooh.
Oh man, I'm mixed on this. Almost kind of like hitting the post kind of shot, because part of me is like, okay, is it overreaction? Like, okay, like we've had a bad team. Like last year wasn't great, but there was definitely some flashes in the pan and it was entertaining. Are we really going to give up after just 12 games?
Well, you're seeing a pattern, right? Like, it's not like we are on here talking about everything we see on the field, and it's not that we're giving up. It's just we kind of know, based on the last 12 games, what to expect going forward. Am I wrong on that end?
Do you feel like it's gaslighting when people say, well, you're a fair weather fan, that you're only here when the team's good, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, what I'll say is time and money are finite resources. And I have to choose what I'm going to spend my time doing. I spent a lot of my time in my 20s rooting bad teams and feeling sad and feeling bad about myself whenever I leave the event. And as someone in my 40s now, I don't have that time is not a luxury. And I am not going to spend either my time or my money on that thing if it's going to bring me sadness, if it's going to make me feel bad. It's okay me sitting at home and getting pissed off. I didn't have to drive to St. Louis, find parking, stand outside, and then have to drive home. I'd rather just feel bad about this team at home. I am not going to go spend 30, 40, 50 bucks for a ticket for this, not right now. And I hope several thousand other STO fans are in the same position. Hope several other thousand fans, all of a sudden, those attendance numbers start dropping. That's the only way businesses in this town seem to really ever care. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, you're starting to see people talk about how like their ticket reps are starting to say, hey, do you want season tickets and stuff like this? And people are passing on season tickets. Remember how hard it was to get season tickets? Like there was a waiting list of like 50,000 people or something.
Sold out in 5 minutes when they introduced it, which they should have. We talked about, at some point, the Sheen's going to wear off this team and tickets are going to be easier to get because that's what's going to happen. It's a natural tendency. I didn't think the team was going to force it this early.
Okay, so how about this? Goal or no goal, everybody's overreacting about how bad this team is, and this is doom and gloom.
That's a
Down
me,
the toilet.
dog.
10 damn points. No, sir. Not overreacting.
And when you say overreacting, are you talking about the fans? When you say everyone, or are you also including the players? Because I'm reading some of the statements and the post game, and even they seem like, yo, like this is bad. Like,
You have the post game comments right now?
oh, I'm reading Nathan Tucker, right? Sports Watcher Pro in Blue Sky.
Yeah.
And he's quoting what some of the players have said. Baldwin said, at the end of the day, the dressing room and the coach has to stick together. Believe in what we're doing in training. Believe in what we do together. We have to look in the mirror and see what we can improve on as individuals, as a team, and stick together because it will get better. But I like the fact that he even pointed out the coaching has to do that, you know? To me, that's kind of the signs of like things are gloom. Like they're very bad right now. It's, you know, so there's a lot of gloom and doom, and it's not just us feeling it. It seems like they are too.
Yeah, I kind of wonder at what point does the coach lose the locker room? Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Volume also said, we would be lying if it wasn't getting to us. We're professionals, though. We had a short turnaround to the derby against SKC on Wednesday. It was a shorter one that we want to fight for this city, right? So even he's admitting that's getting to them. So again, it's not just the fans that are reacting or that feeling this kind of way. It's the players too, you know?
Yeah, any other comments that popped up?
It's drawn out just while I'm still making my way through some of the stuff that Hebert said. But I know when I get to them, I'll bring them up. But it's kind of tough right now, man. And we're not going to sit here and just say that we're the worst team out there. You know, the record will show that eventually. You know, so.
Luckily, LA Galaxy decided that they do not want to defend their cup this year. So we are not in last place. So thank you, Galaxy. You can have the spoon. Although we're doing our best to take it from them, we're doing our damnedest.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. It just boggles my mind. And I really hope that they're not doing this to save money. I've said this before. I feel like the summer transfer window is the biggest window. So realistically, a lot of people were upset that we didn't do more in the winter, but that was the minor transfer window. Really, the window that we wanted was last year in July. I think if they don't make some major splashes in July, they're going to lose way more fans. If you don't give them some kind of hope, if you don't bring in a serious DP, and because here's the other thing too, right? As you had said, there's a good chance that they're definitely not going to sign Klaus. So you have to bring another DP in, or you better bring another DP in. So it has to be in July.
Well, at this point, they're going to bring in a defender and pay him DP salary anyway. So what's the matter?
Steve.
By the way, as per Justin Herniker, Kyle Hebert is tied for second on the team with 2 goals through 12 matches. Kyle Hebert, by the way, have fun editing that. Kyle Hebert has 2 goals and he's tied. I bet none of us had Kyle Hebert having the most goals on this team preseason.
So on that note, Hebert said in his post-game presser, I don't feel good. We're paid to go out there and get results, and we haven't been. You got to find the balance between frustration because we need to be better, and we need to get results to reward the fans that come out here and support us. The thing that I saw was I don't feel good, and I saw the word frustration. So again, It's getting to them.
Well, we saw that before the Open Cup game, right? We saw the team literally start to give up in the last, 10, 15 minutes or something like that. Like they just looked sluggish, like they didn't care. They just wanted out of there. It's getting to them.
As it should.
Right. So is it getting to them because, you know, they don't like the game anymore? Or is it because they're being coached incorrectly or they're just not being utilized in the right manner?
My gut tells me, I bet you, they probably don't have faith in their coach.
Well, so a lot of these guys that are saying the stuff that I just read out loud are also guys on contracts. So
True.
So yeah, if they don't have faith in Olaf, right? And again, at the beginning, I went to bat for the guy. I thought he was a good defensive coach. I thought we're gonna ride that out. And as you can see, it hasn't worked out. You know, I'm also the same guy that had faith in Klaus too. So maybe I should just do the opposite of what I say, guys. Whatever warm fuzzies you get from me, just do the opposite.
So, I honestly, if Olaf just does one thing, and I don't think anybody would be angry. What they need to do is they need to run out in a 4-4-2. Just a normal 4-4-2. Heck, even a 4-3-3, but just a 4-4-2 is fine. Have both Celio and Silva out on the field. Yeah, I get that they're both left wingers, but that doesn't mean that you can't play the right wing as well. Put them both out there. Put Betcher up top. Put Teutcher up with him. Put Hartl as the attacking midfielder, and then put whomever as the defensive midfielder, and then do whatever you want with the back line. Why not? What's the worst that could happen at this point?
Yeah, I can't imagine anything worse. I mean, we're already getting blown out.
I'll do you one better. We'll throw Berkey in there too. Screw it. We'll just go all offense. I mean, come on. Well, if we play defensive, we still give up goals. Do you know?
Okay, I'll do you one better. We could do what they do in hockey and pull the goalie.
Exactly. There you go. You know? So
leave it wide open.
Right.
All right. Any other goal or no goals? Or are we kind of wrapped up?
I think we're good. What's there to say? Other than it was a match. It was another match. I have to go write another L on my scorecard. 8 in a row. We haven't had a win in 8 weeks. And I really don't want to count that win against a third-tier team in the Open Cup.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, too bad that the new Pope couldn't have been a St. Louis City fan, you know?
Hey, that's cheating, isn't it? Chicago Fire is going to get Pope giving prayers for them winning. Isn't that like a little unfair?
Well, I think that's how you know your team really sucks. That there has to be divine intervention at this point.
Well, how do
No, man. I'll start looking into other religions and other deities that can kind of help us and give us some spirit going forward. Some heroic inspiration, if you will.
I was waiting for that. Steve, please take us out of here. We've devolved into nothingness.
All right. What do I say? Yeah. Okay, here we go, guys. So we're done. So even though this is not great, my room's still all covered in all this stuff because I still believe that it's all for City, baby.
All for City, baby.